What if I told you that everything you think you know about karma is probably wrong? And the fact that what you think about karma is wrong is costing you money. Karma is a word that most people completely misunderstand or don't even care about. If you ever heard about the word karma, you may have heard, oh, that's bad karma. Oh, he must have some good karma. We think about past lives, and some of you don't think about past lives as being real, so then karma must not be real. We hear about what goes around comes around. What you sow, you reap. If you do something to someone bad, that means ultimately something bad, similar in nature, will happen to you. We talk about this karmic cycle. So what is karma? How is it misunderstood? And how can you use it to your advantage? Well, let me just share with you something that's very interesting. If you understand karma, you will know one of the greatest kept secrets for success that is used by the privileged elite class. Years ago, I was trained in depth into the science, not the mystical, spiritual aspects, but the science of, quote, karma, and how it can be used, how it is used, and how you can use it to your advantage in life. When I learned this, it was a secret that nobody really understood or knew outside of a very small group of people. We think of cause and effect. The Buddha said, do this and get that. Cause and effect. Newtonian physics, cause and effect. So we think of cause and effect. Example, I take my key, I turn the key in the car starts. So if I do this, turn the key, that's what I do, then what I get is the car starts. Do this, get that. And we think that's karma. Do something and there is a result. That's the misunderstood part about karma. Because what karma really is beneath the surface. If you take the key and put it in your car and turn it, but the battery in your car is not hooked up, does the car start? No. So think about it. It's not the key turning that starts the car. It's the key turning only when it's connected to the battery does the car start. So there's a secret underlying activity, or it's the cause behind the cause. It's the real cause of the effect, not the action. When I understood this concept, I did things very fascinating. I studied all this, and it was all documented. It was done all around the world, and we verified it over and over again. And it was simple. I would take guys, and I would say, here's what you're going to do. Sales. Simple, quantifiable, easy. You're going to randomly take a list of 1,000 people, and you are going to send to those 1,000 people this sales letter, the same sales letter that everyone had. Everyone had the same sales letter, and everyone randomly picked the 1,000 people out of the box there. And so we had the different salespeople mail 1,000 sales letters, and they randomly selected the names out of the group. And I did it too. And then when we looked at the results, they should have been very similar because it was the same group of potential customers. They were all getting the exact same sales letter. It was the same envelope, the same stamp, the same everything. There was no difference. The only difference was John was sending out the letter to a group of 1,000 people, Mary was sending the letter out to a group of 1,000 people. I was sending the group up to 1,000 people. And in every instance, my sales were 10, 20, 30, 40, 50% higher than everyone else's. Every single time. How is that possible? And the answer is karma. I did things beneath the surface so that my activities produced better results. Karmic results. Always, 100% of the time. I'm going to talk more about this, but I get questions on karma all the time. And I have a slew of them. So I'm going to answer some of those questions that you may have. And if you're watching right now, make sure you like this show. Make sure you're subscribed to the show and leave comments, because if you have a comment or a question about karma, put it in the comment section. I will read it, and I'll do a show in the future, and I'll pull questions that you leave in the comment section, and I'll answer those as well. So here's a question that came in. Do we have control over karma? Is it something we can clear, rewrite, or are we stuck with it? Well, the first part is, what exactly is karma? So let me explain this. And you can then understand that you have complete 100% control over your karma. Yes, you can, quote, rewrite it. Yes, you can clear it. You're not stuck with it. You use it to your advantage. It is a blessing. The fact that karma exists is a blessing. Now, karma is a word that comes from the East, India, Sanskrit. It was written and shared with peasants, people whose brain function were not very fast. They were slow. They were peasants. They were uneducated. They couldn't read and write. They were slow in speech and slow in thought. You call them the village idiot today. We call them slow today. We used to call them retarded because the brains were actually retarded. And by definition, that's not a derogatory thing to say at all. It kind of was derogatory when you called the kid a retard. Okay, maybe that was a little mean and cruel, but we all did it. We just didn't know it was mean and cruel. We thought it was funny. Now looking back, shame on me. It was mean and cruel to call a kid who was dumb, who couldn't add 2 + 2, you're just a retard. Okay. Guilty as charged. Lesson learned. Today I would simply say, you must be retarded. Is that bad? Okay. Anyway, these peasants were a little bit slow. The spiritually enlightened people needed to share with these people how to live a more ethical life. And so what they expressed and shared was the concept of karma. And they said, what goes around comes around. And in Christian tradition, it says, what you sow, you reap. What you give will come back to you 100 times. If you give love, you'll get a love back 100 times. If you give hate, in your life, hate will come back 100 times. Not only will it come back, but it will come back multiplied. In the East, the karma meant action, physical action. And they were trying to tell people, look, don't screw your neighbor's wife. That's bad, because you shouldn't do that. That's not right. That's not right. What's wrong with you? They tried to teach these people, you can't steal your neighbor's cow. That's not right. That's bad. What's wrong with you? Don't do that. And these people were saying, but why? I didn't have a cow and I stole it. Now I have a cow and now I have milk and food. Why is that bad? Because that guy doesn't. Who cares? I was hungry. Now I'm not hungry. So how are you going to convince people not to do these bad things? How do we convince them? I know. Hey, Charlie over here. Look, let me tell you how it works. And I talk to God. I can read and write, therefore you know that I'm connected to God and I know more than you. Yeah, you smart. Yeah, well, good. Okay. So Charlie, God told me that if you sleep with and have sex with your neighbor's wife, 10 men are going to come in and rape your wife. What? Yes, I mean, that's what God told me. It's called karma. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Oh, wait a minute. That sounds like Newtonian physics. Well, Newton hadn't been born yet. So thousands of years ago, the spiritual guys understood basic physics. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. But they understood on a spiritual level, it's just not an equal reaction. It is a multiplied reaction. So they went to the peasants and said, if you steal the guy's cow, then someone's going to steal your cow. As a matter of fact, they're not just going to steal your cow, they're going to steal your cow and all your chickens. So for everything you do, it is going to happen to you times 5, 10, 15, 20, 100. And now the peasant said, oh my God, oh no. They said, but good news. If you do something good for somebody, let's say they're hungry and their cow died by accident and now they're hungry. You take them some milk and say, here's some milk and some eggs, you're hungry. And they go, thank you. Guess what? You are going to have people come up to you and give you stuff, but not just a little bit of milk and eggs, but like 5 times what you gave. And now Charlie's going, well, this sounds really cool. Okay, what can I give? Oh, and the priest said, if you give love and compliments and kindness, treat people well, then people will treat you well times 50, times 100. Oh, this is good news. It's whatever seed you plant. If you plant a tomato seed, 1 tomato seed, you don't get 1 tomato back. You get a plant that gives you hundreds of tomatoes. And Charlie said, I understand that. What you sow, you will reap in a multiplied form. So karma was about actions. Do this and it comes back. And then people were confused. They go, why? I didn't do anything bad. Why is something bad happening to me? And the priest said, you did something bad in a previous life. And now you're paying for it. You have karma. You have to pay the karmic debt. The good news is you can erase it. You can burn it off. Oh, Mr. Priest, how do I do that? Because you do it by not reacting to it and resisting it, but understanding its karma, welcoming it, and let it dissolve and burn off. If you try to suppress it, if you resist it, it will persist. Thus the phrase, what you resist persists. So don't resist it. If something bad happens, know that you created it. Don't blame anyone else. So they taught a whole concept about responsibility. The idea that everything in your life that is happening is not anything that's happening to you. It's happening because you created it. It is neither good nor bad, but only how you respond or react to it. So the fact of the matter is you can burn off karma by doing this. If something's happening in your life, do not resist it. Here's the procedure. Acknowledge it and do not deny it. Number 2, accept it and welcome it. Don't resist it. What you resist persists. And thirdly, allow it to transmute by learning the lesson from it and taking full responsibility for it. When you do this, it will burn off and be gone forever. But if you suppress it, if you blame others, I didn't do that, he did it, he's the bastard, he's the asshole, he's the no good person, he's doing this to me. He's not doing anything to you. It's never about the other person, it's about you. Every time you point the finger at somebody, there's 3 fingers pointed directly at you. But if you blame others, if you don't take responsibility, guess what happens? The karma is not burned off, and then a similar situation will happen because it is still a debt, a karmic debt that you have to pay. The good news, though, and I think the most exciting thing is, if you understand this concept, just like Charlie the peasant in India, are there any peasants in India named Charlie? I don't think so. Punjab, what's the name? Maybe Punjab? Saji, I don't know. Haji. in China. Haji. So Haji, just like he learned that don't do bad things because you'll get 10 times more bad things happen to you. But he also learned if you do good things, you'll get 100 times good things happening to you. So you can plant and create as much karma as you want with deliberate intent. And by the way, karma, if you understand the law of attraction, it's exactly the same thing. It is exactly the same thing. Whatever you do, whatever you put out. By the way, karma is also the golden rule said by Jesus. Karma is not an Indian thing. It's not a Muslim thing. It's not a Christian or Jewish thing. It's everybody's thing. Everybody's religious texts and spiritual texts say the same thing. The golden rule says, treat others as you want them to treat you. Very simple. The expanded golden rule says, now listen and pay attention, because here is the secret that created my unprecedented luck, unprecedented success rate on producing advertising. And I'm going to tell you a quick couple stories about that that'll just blow your mind, and they're all documented and verified. And I did it just to show that it works. And by the way, a lot of this is described in great detail in one of my favorite books of all time, which is on my recommended reading list, Karmic Management. It's a little book. You can read it in an hour. I don't highly recommend this. I don't strongly recommend this. I implore you to read this book and read it again. And if you like it, read the predecessor, The Diamond Cutter. But this is simple and easy and cuts to the chase and gets right to the point. You will be blown away when you understand karma and how it can make you money and how it can make your relationship better and how it can give you the relationship of your dream. It is mind-blowing material. Recommend this book. So karma, the golden rule, the expanded golden rule. Here it is. This is the one secret in the next 90 seconds that will change everything in your life for the better. Listen to it, write it down, brand it in your brain, and everything in your life will get better now. And here it is. The expanded golden rule. Number 1, think about others as you wish they would be thinking about you. Think about others. Hey, for those of you who are Christians, Jesus said it. Hey, if you think about committing adultery with someone, you have. Thoughts are powerful. And everyone said, I'm screwed. Totally screwed. We hate that. We hate that. We hate Jesus in this one. We wish he didn't say that, because it's like, oh my God, every evil thought I have, every lustful thought is like, I really already did it. Yes, you're creating karma just by your thoughts, not just your actions. You're actually creating that karma. So if you're actually committing adultery with somebody every single day, it's just like you're doing it in real life. You're creating that karma. And that's why people don't completely comprehend how powerful their mind is. And this is a Christian principle, and it's a spiritual principle in all types of religious texts. But let's use it to our advantage. Use the expanded golden rule. Rule 1, think about others as you wish they would be thinking about you. That's why in the Global Information Network, in my private club, one of the key elements of the system is recognition, giving recognition, as well as receiving. But most importantly, giving. It's more blessed to give than to receive. It's more blessed because when you give $1, you're getting back 100. If you receive $1, you receive 100. You receive $1. You get more blessings when you give. That's why Jesus said it's more. You are blessed more by giving than receiving. It is more blessed to give than to receive. So if you give positive thoughts to people, happiness to people, if you're saying, I'm so happy for them, I'm so glad they're succeeding, or I hope everything gets better for them, I really want things to get better in their life, I want them to get over this, I want them to be happy, I want their marriage to work out great, I want their child to get better, I want their health condition to get better, I want them to get a better job, I hope they get that promotion, I hope they make their dreams come true, I hope their new business venture succeeds. If you are pouring love and gratitude and appreciation into people, if you are blessing them, if you're wishing that God blesses them, if you're sending all this, if you're thinking about people, I really like them, I appreciate them so much, I feel so great that they're my friend, I'm so happy that they're in my life. If you start saying all these things, not just to the people you like, but to your enemies, think about everyone as you wish they would be thinking about you, you're planting karmic seeds into the universe. So rule 1, think about people as you wish they would think about you. Rule 2, talk about people as you wish they would talk about you. That means when they're not around. How do you talk about people when they're not there? I was just sitting in the cigar lounge earlier today. I was talking to my good friend Spiros. And we were saying, I know this guy. He goes, oh, what's he like? And I thought I could say something. And I said, cancel. And I said, let me tell you what I like about him. And I focused on what I liked. And I talked about this fellow as I hoped he would talk about me. Think about that. I with deliberate intent, I'm planting karmic seeds. Because if you're talking about people when they're not around in a manner that you wish they would talk the same way about you, it's going to come back to you 100 times. You are planting positive karmic seeds and creating this incredible, wonderful, blessed karma in your life, which is the law of attraction. What you put out comes back. It's the law of sowing and reaping. It's a Christian principle. It's a Eastern principle. It's a Muslim principle. It's a Jewish principle. It's all the same. It's all the same. So talk about people. Every time you talk about somebody, watch your tongue. Do it with deliberate intent and always say, do I want them to talk about me this way? Talk about people as you wish they would talk about you. Number 3, talk to people as you wish they would talk to you. Do you yell at them? Do you call them names? Are you respectful? Are you disrespectful? Are you mean? Are you short? Are you abrupt? Are you kind? Are you courteous? How do you talk to people? And I'm talking about everyone. Every single person. Years ago, I'd go on a date. And I would meet park the car with the valet, and I'd meet the hostess at the restaurant, and I would be sat down and talk to the waiter, and then I'd go to a bar someplace, and I would talk to this person and that person. I remember on one particular occasion, at the end of the evening, the gal says, "You know something? I've never met anyone like you." And I said, "Why do you say that?" "You treated everyone with so much respect and such kindness. I've never been on a date with anybody. The guys I go out with treat everyone like they're peasants, like they're beneath them. But you treated everyone like they were your equal with respect and kindness and compassion. That was unbelievable." And I said, yeah, I learned how, and I learned the reason why you talk to people, everyone, in the manner you want them to talk about you. And then third, the last part of the expanded golden rule is treat people. The way you act toward people, treat people the way you want them to treat you. I had a friend of mine, and I said, I know you're in this business, and I'd like you to do this transaction for me. What does it cost? And he said, I will give you basically my cost on it. I said, well, I appreciate that very much. He goes, but I'll do one better. If you do a social media post promoting my company, I'll do it for free. He was treating me really good. And I thought, I'm going to treat him like I would like him to treat me. I'm going to be even more generous because you can't outgive God, right? So I said, I'll tell you what, I'll do that media post and I'll give you your full rate. And he was flabbergasted. I said, it's my pleasure. I goes, I'm in a financial position right now. I can do this. 2 years ago, I wasn't, and I wouldn't have been able to offer this to you, but now I can, and I want to help you. I know you're just starting in your business, and I know you need as much help as you can. It's my pleasure. I treated him with an action in a manner that I would want him or somebody else to treat me. So treat people like you want them to treat you. All the little things. I'm sitting down with my wife and we're having dinner and she's doing some business and her plate is there. And I got up, I was going upstairs and I grabbed her plate. And she says, "Oh, thank you." Of course, I'm grabbing it. I'm taking it with me because I thought, if the roles were reversed, I hoped that she would take my plate and take it up. I'm treating people like I want them to treat me. This is the secret of the universe. And by doing these things in advance, when I did my mailing, and I'll tell you more about this, every single time I get better results. And it's not the direct mail piece because, again, in the example I gave you, we all had the same prospects and we all sent out the exact same mail piece. The only difference was who basically sent it. My energy, my karma, was creating the results with my mail piece. This may be too hard for you to comprehend, but it works. Next question. Have religions or governments weaponized the concept of karma to keep people submissive or afraid? Have people been spiritually manipulated? No. The exact opposite. Religions and governments used karma not as a weapon to keep people manipulated or suppressed, but to actually help society have a more ethical, civilized life. We forget today's world that the majority of the planet consisted of savages. Savages. We forget this. We think that everybody was lovely and kind. No, the majority of human beings on planet Earth, and I'm not talking a long time ago. You can go back to the 1800s, the 1700s, the 1600s. Everybody was savages. I mean, savages. So let me explain what a savage is. Someone who's uncivilized. They rape without thought. They scalp. We forget the American Indians. Oh, these were wonderful people. They killed more other Indians than the white man by a factor of like 50. These were savages. They would shoot you with a bow and arrow, boom. You'd be like, ah. They'd come up, they take their knife, and they shove it in the chest, rip you open while you're screaming, pull your heart out, and eat it right in front of you. I would call that a savage. They're also creating some pretty bad karma. They would shoot you with your arrow, you're alive, arrows in your shoulder, ah. They would come up and they would scalp you. They would pull up your hair and they would take all of your scalp off and let you bleed to death for the next 2 days. In horrible pain. Savages. And I'm not saying anything about the Native Americans in a negative way, because the white people that came from Europe, mostly in that particular time period, English, French, they were just as savage in different ways. And then we look at the Spanish conquistadors. They came in and they were savages, and they were being savage to the South American and Central American natives who are also savages. You look at the Mayans, about the human sacrifices they used to have. But here's the point. Throughout history, we had people that stole. They would steal things from you without even a thought. They would rape your women without even a thought. They would kill without even a thought in savage ways. So it was raping, stealing, call it pillaging. They would burn down your village. It was horrific. And this is the majority of people on the planet. Nobody wants to hear this. I'm sorry. I'm giving you a history lesson. And there was a few groups that became civilized at the time, less savage, still savages, less savage. And the governments, the people that were looking at how can we make a safer, more prosperous society with more ethics and morals, said, how do we instill morals, or ethics into society? Moses had this problem and said, God, what am I going to do here? All these people are savages. And God said, I know what we'll do. I'm going to give them a list of commandments. We'll call them rules. Thou shalt not commit murder. Thou shalt not have sex with your neighbor's wife. Thou shalt not steal. Think about this. Think about this. Think about this. Think about this. There has to be a meeting. Think about the society at the time where there has to be a meeting. And Moses says, look, everybody, look. We got to have some rules here. Number one, you can't have sex with your neighbor's wife. You just can't walk into the tent and rape her. You can't do that. That's wrong. What's wrong with you? That's wrong. Okay, you can't. And people are going, why is that wrong? I don't understand that. Why is that wrong? It's bad. It's wrong. You shouldn't do that. God said, he's got a set of rules. Thou shalt not have sex with your neighbor's wife. Oh, God said it? Yes, and he will strike you down with lightning if you break the rule. Oh, shit. Okay. Damn it. I like those neighbors' wives. Think about society. There's a rule, guys, everybody, women, men, rule. You can't steal. You can't go into somebody's tent and take their stuff. You can't steal from them. You can't do that. Why? I don't understand. What do you mean? If I'm hungry, why can't I just go in there and take some food out of guys? If I'm cold, why can't I just take the guy's clothes? If I'm stronger than him and bash him over the head and knock him out, why can't I just take his clothes? I don't understand this rule of not stealing. This doesn't make any sense to me. God said, it's one of the 10 commandments here. Oh, and if you break it, you're going to go to hell. What's hell? Well, hell is this really bad place that you don't want to go to. You burn in fire forever. And that's forever. Yeah, and you get sodomized, by the way. Oh, I know, okay, you may no, don't go there. So think about society where Moses has to give these rules about you can't steal, you can't rape, you can't murder people. You can't do that anymore. And people going, damn, what do you mean? We have to stop doing all that? They have to make rules? They have to actually tell people, don't do this? Think about it. Honor your father and mother. Stop beating them. Stop letting them die. Feed them. Take care of them. They're old. What's wrong? You have to take care of them. Okay, that's society. That's what society was. So karma came out as, look, we need to explain people the consequences that they are going to face in this lifetime, and then scare the bejesus out of them, unless they didn't know who Jesus was, scare the life out of them about the consequences in the next lifetime as well. If you do something bad in this lifetime, not only will bad things happen to you now, times 10, but in the next lifetime, you're also going to be really, really screwed. So karma wasn't used to manipulate. It was actually used to save people from themselves and make them more moral and ethical by trying to teach them something that was beyond their own understanding, the universe, the law of attraction, the law of sowing and reaping, the law of karma, of whatever you put out comes back. What goes around comes around. What you put out comes back. For every action, there is at least an equal and opposite reaction. The Buddha said it. It's been in every major text, so it's there. Another question that came up, we had one more question on here. It was, what is the biggest lie? Final question. What is the biggest lie people believe about karma? I would say, in talking to people about karma, the biggest lie is they are stuck with their karma, and there's nothing they can do about it. And that's a lie because it's a half-truth. The biggest lie is always the lie you tell yourself. The second biggest lie is the half-truth. Think about this. The best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. The second best time is today. Think about it. You can't plant a tree 20 years ago. That was the best time, but you can't do it. So the second best time is plant the tree today. The best time to create your karma was 20 years ago, 50 years ago, 100 years ago, 10 lifetimes ago. The second best time is today. So the biggest lie about karma is we're screwed, we're stuck with it. Oh, that's a past life thing. There's nothing I can do about it. Karma is cause and effect. Things happen in your life because you created it. So take responsibility for everything to the level that you are capable of doing that. Don't blame others. But when a situation happens in your life, if you can get to some level of understanding that you created it and it's karmic, karmic simply just means it is coming back to you. Everything in your life is something coming back to you based on what you put out first. Do you react to it? Do you resist it? Do you get mad about it? Do you blame the government? Do you blame that guy who ran into you and hit you in the car? You're driving in the car, somebody smashes into, runs a red light and smashes in. Hey, it's his fault. Or do you just understand that's karma? I created this. And instead of reacting to it, instead of blaming other people, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start planting and creating good karma today. And the way you do that is in how you respond to those negative situations, that karma that you're living with that's being presented to you. By saying, I am now going to create good karma. I am going to be as nice and kind to this person who ran that red light and he's drunk. And instead of yelling and screaming at him, knowing that whatever I put out is going to come back to me, I'm going to treat him better than he deserves it. Because I'm going to treat him in a manner that it will come back to me. And I will be compassionate and loving and understanding. And I will be like Jesus. I will treat him like Gandhi would treat him. I would treat him like Krishna or Ram would treat him, or Jesus would treat him, or a saint would treat him. I am going to rise up and I am going to react and respond to this in a way where I'm planting and creating good karma. And that's how I instantly burn off my karma and now get an immediate blessing from the universe. Because there is another karmic law. When you're dealing with a negative situation, a bad situation, we'll call it, and you respond in a positive way, that seed is going to produce the greatest positive return in your life because it's the hardest thing to do. And if you understand these principles, you will then live a life as if you are living a magical dream where you have the Midas touch. I would take TV infomercials and products that the top marketing people in the world would spend hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars in research and marketing and production. And they would shoot these shows and produce these direct mail pieces and produce these ads for this product, whatever the product is, and they would fail. And I would take that exact same product and I would do a direct mail piece or an infomercial or an ad and put it out, and it would be a home run. And this happened over and over again. And people would come to me and goes, how? How is that working, Kevin? And I couldn't never tell them that whatever I do has to work. Has to work because of the karma. If you put the key in your car and turn it and it doesn't start, the battery's not hooked up. When I put the key in my car and turn it, the car starts because my battery is hooked up. That battery is the karma. That's described at length in this book, Karmic Management. I didn't write the book. I wish I had. It is great. These people are spectacular. Matter of fact, we need to call them and get them on the show, because they are just wonderful, wonderful people by doing this, and have done a spectacular job. And I am so impressed with the clarity and the simplicity in which they present this. Karmic management is about how to use karma in business and in life to create massive amounts of money, massive success, massive happiness, phenomenal relationships of your dreams. And it's a little thin book. Highly endorse or recommend it. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. I get a lot more stuff. And we have a couple other videos here that are similar or touch on some of the concepts that I described in this show. So click on some of the other videos. But make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like the video. And again, if you have any questions on karma, put it in the comment section. I read them all, and I'll pull out maybe 5 or 10 or 15, and I'll do another show if you like it. Let us know in the comment section if you like the show, if you want some more. Give me your questions, because this is a subject that I could talk about for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours on. It is so critical. It is so important. It is the underlying most important concept of success in every area of your life. And it works.